All right, Big Country, Landon Dickerson joins me on the Eagles Insider Podcast, presented by Lincoln Financial Group. Hi, Landon. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Bye week, good times?
Pretty good.
Slow times?
Uneventful, so
That's nice.
kind of nice.
Do you feel like it's a great time to actually, the physical break as well as the mental break, equally beneficial?
Yeah, I feel like just having that time to yourself to kind of, do whatever guys want to do over that time. Everybody's got different things they do during the bye week, so I think it's just nice to get, your body a rest and your mind a rest.
I'm interested in you. We haven't really had a really long conversation until just after you were drafted, and what a journey already. I mean, you get thrown into the lineup second game of the year last season, middle of the game. I mean, things happen fast in this league. I'd like to go back though to your start. When did you start playing football? When did you start falling in love with football, and why did you fall in love with football?
I started playing football when I was about 4 years old. Flag football all the way up through, like Pee Wee and all that stuff, middle school, high school, and I've always really loved it. It's always been, a passion. No matter what other sports I was playing, whenever I was 4 or 5 or whatever time, it was, I always just loved football the most out of any of them. And
why?
I don't know if it's the camaraderie, the teammates, the guys you're around, or just overall aspect of the game. Really, I love every part of it.
You're a team guy. Like, you like being part of a group that works together to have success.
Yes.
And so I guess the ideal position for you is offensive line. I find this offensive line group to be, this room is remarkable, and I want to get into that a bit later. I met your parents on the road. I forget whether it was a preseason game or Detroit or whatever. And I'm always struck by that. You're sitting with your parents. It's the night before the game. You're sharing in the experience of your career. How special is that to you, Landon?
It's very special just to, be able to see my parents and have them come to a good amount of games, even the games, that we're not home for. It's always good to see them. They're not, local to me. So it's, I'm away from them, but it is nice that, I get to see them almost every weekend, and, just the position I'm in and just how grateful we are to, be where I am today and where they are, and, everything that's come along with it.
Have they always been at Florida State and Alabama? They were able to get your games also?
Yes.
Oh my God, that must be so fun.
Yeah.
Best advice or some advice that you can remember that your folks have given you through the years that have kind of really stuck with you?
Really, like if you're gonna, I don't even like, basically just putting your all into something that you love, like, don't have to anything, and if you're really gonna do it right. And I just kind of stuck with me, especially the football side of things is, if you want to do it, just go all in.
Are they athletes?
Kind of like growing up, they did play sports, like in high school. My dad did in college too.
Was he a football player?
Yes.
What position?
Offensive line.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did he teach you? Was he like the early was he the first Jeff Stoutland in your life?
Not coaching wise.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Brothers, sisters, are they athletes also?
Only child.
Oh my gosh, that's great. When was the first time you met Jeff Stoutland? And what was that experience like? I want to get into the mythical Jeff Stoutland.
Yeah. So the draft year was the COVID year, obviously. So everything we did was virtual. So really the first time meeting Coach Stoutland was over Zoom, which he can be a very vocal person. And coming over the computer, you're kind of just sitting there and you feel like you're just getting lectured. But it was a good time. We mainly just talked ball, and he would ask me questions and, get a feel for how I would think, my thought process, and, all that stuff. And it was interesting. It was one of the more interesting draft meetings I had.
Was he like telling you about your game or about what he thought your game could become?
I don't really, I'm sure there was that. There was also here's what's wrong with you. Here's why you're not good. Here's a lot of stuff. He's a very honest man. I'll give him that. So,
I would imagine it takes a thick skin to understand the genius of Jeff Stoutland.
I think it does, paired with, that kind of, Northeast United States accent. It's comes off a little differently than down south. So it's definitely something to get used to. As long as you don't have thin skin and get offended, you just realize that's just his personality.
And Jeff is there for all of you. He wants to bring out the very, very best in all of you. Is that something like that you immediately got, Landon? Like as soon as you became an Eagle, like you understood that Stout wants you to be great, or was it like talking to other guys, or just acquired taste?
I feel like you get it from once you understand his message. It's kind of like it's almost like you got to decipher what he's saying to you, and once you've figured out how to do that, you understand that he's just trying to get the best out of you, the best out of every guy in that room, and when everybody's playing at a high level, then good things happen. So 2021
season. And I think a lot of people out there outside of here kind of thought, well, Landon Dickerson's going to take a redshirt year. He's going to get healthy. We'll see him next year. Brandon Brooks is going to be, and then Brandon goes down, and then you're in the game. I think it was at the 3-yard line against San Francisco, 1st and 10. I think for most people who aren't used to that kind of pressure, it would be a very tough situation. Do you remember what that moment was like when you ran out on the field for the first time?
Well, I remember the play very well. I don't want to speak about that play. It had a good result, but individually it did not go well. It was obviously it's first snap in the NFL is always something I think guys remember, and I didn't have the expectation of going in at that time. Obviously being behind Brandon Brooks and then having other guys here, Nate Herbig, Suo Peta, guys that have been here, they've played ball, and kind of in my mind I go, I'm kind of like the last man here, and I get put in, and it's kind of next man up, whoever it is. That's just how the room goes. Doesn't matter who's in. There's a level of expectation that every guy on the line has to play to, and so going in there and being able to try to fill the very large shoes that Brooks left. I tried my best, but obviously he's a phenomenal player, and that's something hard to do.
Are you ever satisfied? Are you ever satisfied on the field?
Not really. Like the biggest thing is like whenever you feel like you're good at something, you get complacent. Like sure. I always kind of think about it. It's like like woodworking. Whenever you get comfortable and you're not afraid to like a saw. Most people get hurt or cut their finger, hand, whatever off when they get comfortable with it. That's when you get complacent and you start overlooking the little things is when you get bit.
Yeah.
So
the brotherhood in the OL room. Tell me about how you guys, love each other, push each other, make fun of each other. How much it means to you to be part of that.
Yeah, I think we all just have the same mindset and. What we want to accomplish and what we want to do as, individuals, a unit and as a team, and, just the attitude in that room. And, it's not a selfish room at all. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, we're looking to help guys out. Same position, competing for a job, however you want to look at it. We're here to help guys out and, ultimately just make the best team.
Pittsburgh Steelers coming to town. I know they throw. I don't know how far you into it with them. I know they always throw a lot of stuff. They're very aggressive defensively. What have you seen?
Yeah, I think they do a great job of having a game plan every week, no matter what team they're playing. They change things up for every team, and I think that's what makes them a quality defense. Is that you're going to see something new every week that you haven't seen on film, and you can't really practice for that if you don't know what's happening. So. I think they're a well-coached defense, a disciplined team. They do a lot of things right. They have a lot of good players, a lot of veteran experience there. Overall, I think they're a good team, and I look forward to the Sunday matchup.